So thank you very much for joining my class today. I feel very lucky to have you guys here with me. We're going to spend a lot of time in a more passive class today. And in doing so, I want you to start in child's pose. So just the simplicity of being down onto your mat, toes together, knees apart, and your head resting. So as you all know, your head can rest onto a firm block or one fist on top of the other, whichever variation is comfortable. And so on this pose, the settling down for the start of our class, having the surface of the tops of your feet, the lengths of your shins. Your head is heavy. Let it just settle onto the mat. Your arms are completely passive, so there'll be a little bit of bending of your knees. And just enjoy the loveliness of the breath. And in this pose, it allows more ease of directing your breath into the back of your body. And so allowing your breath to expand the back of your ribs, even the expansion through the side of your torso. And with your breath, and the fullness of your body, and the ease for the start of our class. So have a complete, lovely breath in, and a sigh on your exhale. Allowing the tightness that builds up in the back of the neck and through your upper back. The sigh on the exhale just allows all the tightness to almost wash away off the back of your body. And the slowing down, the busyness of the mind, is the harmony of the breath. So the fullness of the breath, almost to the count of 3. And in so, the softness of your exhale to the count of 3. And allowing yourself on your in-breath, the sense that you're breathing into every cell of your body. And your out-breath, a sigh, the rhythm, the release. With your patterns of your breath, on your next in-breath, bring yourself slowly up into table pose. So in table pose, your palms are down or your knuckles, and having your knees, shins so that they're vertical, or you can have your knees a little farther in so there's less weight onto your hands. As you know, lots of different variations for this pose. Just make sure the tops of your feet are still nicely planted down. Close your eyes. I want your gaze to be down so you have that equal length of the front and the back of your throat, as with the front and the back of your body. Allow your shoulders to stay soft. The traveling of cat and cow. So as you draw your next breath in, breathe into the front of your body so it starts to lower down. And then on your exhale, belly button to your spine. Allow your head just to be soft. Your breath, your body. For your in-breath and your out-breath. And as you all know, the loveliness of the cat and the cow is your own body's dance, your own movement with your breath, staying exactly where you are, not traveling away. See if you can keep your mind here and now. Your attention to the movement of your body with the movement of your breath. Allow yourself to stay focused. And at the end of your next exhale, bring yourselves back into table pose. Okay. You can give your wrists a little shake up. Okay. And you can have your hands onto the firm blocks or not, your decision. And I want you to extend your right leg behind you so that your leg is horizontal, ensuring that your toes are pointing down to keep your hips neutral. And then just holding the stillness. Keep your gaze down and extend this time your left arm forward. So a pose of stillness. So you can be onto your right knuckle or on towards your palm. So the sense as your fingers reach forward, I want you to press your heel back so your torso stays long, but ensuring that the front of your body to the back to give yourselves stability to hold that stillness, and your eyes can be open or closed. We'll change sides. So place your left hand down, your right knee down, and actually give your right hand a little shake. And change sides. So have your hand planted down, lift and extend your left leg behind you. Okay, foot is flexed, hips are neutral. And then stay exactly where you are for a full breath in. So you're giving yourselves the energy with the breath. And on your exhale, extend your right arm forward. So it's allowing that balance, sort of your inner thighs drawn into center, not squeezing, but giving that neutral and finding that focal spot. Or, you always have the options of closing of your eyes. Keep your shoulders soft, your arm long. And then softly place your right arm down, left knee down, and go back into child's pose. Now in child's pose this time, turn your palms up to release any of that tightness through your wrists. Your head might not make it to the mat in this position. Just allow it to hang, or a firm block if you want. And with your breath, take it to your fingers. So as your palms are open with your in-breath, put more space between your fingers. And then your exhale, just softly take the tips of your fingers to the palms of your hand. So just a very gentle, subtle movement. And again, it's the balance of your breath and just the gentle movement of your body. And slowly turn your palms back down and take yourselves right back into table pose, just where we've been. And a little bit of movement. So keep both of your palms nicely planted down. And just as we've done before, I want you to extend your right leg behind you. So lift it and so it's horizontal. Okay. So allow the straightening of the back of your leg. Keep both of your hands nicely planted down. I want you to imagine that you can breathe into the sole of your foot, full breath in. And on your exhale, take your right knee towards your nose. So there'll be the rounding of your back, knee in, compression through your torso. And then with your in-breath, extend your leg back, long. Bring your neck so that it's horizontal. And then on your exhale, draw them all again back together. Keeping the balance of the weight onto both hands, or on towards your knuckles, or onto your firm blocks. And just this lovely movement, using the strength of your core for the compression and the extension through the back of your body. The lengthening. One more time of drawing your knee towards your nose and hold the two together. Like there's a little bit of a magnet. Your shoulder blades slide apart, your spine long. And then place your knee down and give your wrists a little shake. And then we'll do it on the other side. So palms down, knuckles down, firm blocks, whichever's best. And then extend this time your left leg behind you, horizontal. Make sure that your fingers are near the outer edge of your mat so that they're shoulder distance apart. The fullness of an in-breath, lengthen of your leg. And on your exhale, draw your knee towards your nose. Continue with the movement, using your strength, at the same time the softness, the power, and the balance of the ease. Eyes open or closed. And the next time you bring the compression of your knee towards your nose, hold the two together. Allow a sense of shrinking. Chin towards your chest, complete compression. And then lower your knee down and take yourselves back into child's pose. In child's pose again, have your palms up and the wiggling of your fingers. Breath in and breath out. Now bring yourselves back into table pose. And I want you to lower down so that your torso is down onto the mat. Okay. We're going to go into baby cobra. Okay. So have the tops of your feet rooted down and pressing down at the tops of your feet that your knees won't be sunk onto the mat. You've got that power. The whole front of your pubic bone. Forearms are vertical, palms are planted down or knuckles. And with your in-breath, press your hands down to lift your chest up. At the same time, take your belly button towards your spine to care for your lower back. And then let's all ripple down. Eyes closed, your body on your mat. 2 more times. As you're ready, you're lifting. Keep your elbows together, your chest open. And of course, that lovely descending. 1 more time. Now, tuck your toes under and press your palms down to straighten your arms to take yourselves back to an active child's pose. Now, in your active child's pose, you can keep your toes tucked under or untucked, whichever feels best for you. But I want you to have your fingertips onto the mat, so little spider webs. And walk your hands over towards the left. Your hands towards the left front corner of your mat. Giving extension through the body, but without the compression on the left side. So forward and towards the left. And then change sides. Hands, walk forward, and this time over towards the right. Keep that little connection as close as it can be between your left sitting bone and your heel. They won't be touching, at least that movement. And then bring yourselves back into child's pose. And up into the table pose. So from table pose, let's all bring yourselves up so you're kneeling. So your thighs are vertical and your shins are onto the mat. 2 options. You can tuck your toes under or keep them untucked. Okay. And then draw your sitting bones back towards your heels. So again, there's so many different options. You can have your feet flat sitting down. You have your toes tucked, you keep your shins vertical, depending on how your knees feel, because I know there's a number of you whose knees aren't as happy. Okay, bring your palms together at heart center. Interweave your fingers, and I want you to press your palms away. And then lift your palms up to the sky. Now you can press the sky away, and that lovely lengthening. From here, take your interwoven fingers, your palms behind the back of your neck. So be cradling the back of your neck. And keep yourselves kneeling tall. And on your in-breath, I want you to lift your chin up to face your chin to the sky, your hands supporting the back of your head. And we're going to change directions. On your exhale, take your chin towards your chest. Allow the lengthening of your spine, your upper back. And then again, the lifting. Each time you lift your chin, your elbows a little farther apart to give you that opening. And then the closing, the emptying, the releasing. The slowness of your breath, I want you to do 1 more time. I want you to have 1 more full in-breath. Filling in, allowing yourself, your body to fill. Up, up, up. And then upon your exhale, releasing every last drop of your breath, chin towards your chest. This time, tuck your elbows together. And then bring your head back up to vertical. Uninterweave your fingers. And your arms hang down by your side. A little shake, shake. We're going to take ourselves into folded forward, okay? So you can place your hands down onto some firm blocks or on towards the floor. Actually, if you have firm blocks, take them onto vertical. It just makes it a little bit easier. And press the firm blocks down to lift your hips up to allow yourself to be folded forward. Now, as you know, holding onto opposite elbows and swaying side to side. Have a little peek down to make sure your toes are pointing forward, almost like railroad tracks. As you know, with the soft swaying side to side, keep your knees soft. Come back to center and stillness. Allow your arms to hang down. We're going to ragdoll up. So slowly stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Keep your head heavy, so the crown of your head is down. And as you're stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, a sense of growing. Being able to be standing a couple inches taller, or imagine. And then once as the crown of your head is up, continue the lifting of your arms to the side and all the way up to the sky. Bring your palms together and down to heart center. And then your arms again hang by your side, going into mountain pose Tadasana. So your eyes are closed, your knees are soft, your body is long, and your fingers hang down. Breath in and breath out. 5 breaths. 5 full breaths in and complete breaths out. Eyes. As before, with your in-breath, sweep your arms out to the side, lifting them right up to the sky. And once your arms are vertical, bring your palms together. Bend your elbows and hinge yourselves forward and down, led with your elbows. And I want you to take your hands right down onto the mat or your firm blocks. If you have your firm blocks, use that. And walk yourselves forward into a downward facing dog. Okay. So it can be quite a short downward facing dog, keeping your feet closer, or a little bit farther. So press your firm blocks down, your sitting bones back. Find the variation so that there's no weight onto your wrists, or at least the weight that's not needed. And taking the back of your thighs away and your head to hang. You go for a little bit of a walk, bending opposite knees, giving a little bit of that movement. And then take your gaze forward to the front of the mat and slowly walk. Walk forward so you'll be folded forward at the front of your mat. Hold onto your opposite elbow than before. And sway side to side. Place your hands now onto your hips. Knees soft. I want you to hinge to standing upright. So keep your spine long and bringing it right up to vertical. And then a little bit of rolling of your shoulders. The lovely space. And close your eyes. Take yourselves back into Tadasana, mountain pose, just where we've been before. Keep your eyes closed, but take your hands behind your back and interweave your fingers and move your knuckles down. So your shoulder blades be drawn together. Keeping it real broadness across your chest. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. So keeping the verticalness of your spine. As your knuckles directed down towards the mat, it's giving you that stability. And as you know, just finding your ear towards your shoulder. Find the place that's a little tight. Little adjustment, and then just hold it there. Hold this pose with opening and draw a full breath in. See if you can breathe into that tightness. And just sigh on your exhale. With your next in-breath, bring your head back up to center. And then keeping of your head up to the sky, interweave your fingers the funny way, the way that we're not used to. Direct your knuckles down, standing tall, and take your left ear to your left shoulder. Full breath in, head is heavy out to the side. And just sigh on your exhale. And with your next in-breath, bring your head back up to center. Release your fingers and give yourself a little shake. So if you have your firm blocks, I'm going to need to put them in front of you. So take them up to vertical, right in front of you. We're going to just use it for the assistance of a warrior one. In breath, sweep your arms up to the sky, lift and high. And keep your arms straight and strong, but hinge yourselves forward and down. In doing so, place your hands onto your thighs, your shins, firm blocks, whichever height, so that with a full in-breath, you can lift up halfway. And exhale, just melt down. And as you melt down, give your head a little shake. Directing your hands again to your legs, the support for a half lift up. And again, pour down, complete release. And we'll do it one more time. Support, full breath, half lift. And then as you fold down, place your hands onto your firm blocks and step your right foot back for warrior one. So that's only stepping about 2/3 of the way back. Make sure that your back heel is anchored down, front knee is bent, and then place your hands onto your hips so that you can hinge to standing upright for warrior one. Now in warrior one, with balance, you can take your front foot a little bit wider apart. You can perhaps have it close enough that your heels are aligned, but the most important is the stability, so you take them a little farther apart. Hands onto your hips. I want your thumbs to direct your sitting bones down and your fingers lifting of your hips up to give you that neutralness. And then fly your arms up to the sky into warrior one. Take your gaze up to the sky. Your front knee is bent. Your back leg is long, but both your front and your back leg are really strong. And keeping that neutralness. Breath in. And stay standing as you are, but your exhale, allow your shoulders to soften a little bit, so your arms will actually come a little bit farther apart. Keeping of your front knee bent. As you draw your next breath in, I want you to straighten your front leg. Keep your arms long. Hinge yourselves forward and down, placing your hands down onto the firm blocks for pyramid pose. So the importance of pyramid pose is keeping your back heel down. So if your back heel is lifting up, then just shorten it a little bit. Just take your back foot a little farther forward or a little farther back. Sort of find that alignment. Now as you're folded forward into pyramid pose, I want you to take your left thumb and hold onto your left hip flexor. And then as you move your hip flexors back, it allows the neutralizing of the hips. And keep your hips narrow and neutral. Place your hand back onto the firm block and your head to hang. So the blending together, of course, your left hamstring, opening and lengthening, but at the same time, by keeping your right heel tucked down, it gives the opportunity of opening of your calf. Head hang, give your head a little shake. Just enjoy this stillness in the opening of pyramid pose. It's called Parshvottanasana is the Sanskrit name. Legs are strong, long, and straight. Your head is heavy. Bend your front knee now and step your back foot forward. Okay. And as your feet are side by side, you keep your hands on the firm blocks. Let's all do a lovely half lift up. So fingers pressed down, breath in, half lift. In the fullness of your exhale, melting down, step your left foot back. So wearing the alignment of Warrior One, bending of your front knee. Just as before, place your hands onto your hips to give the stability and hinge yourselves up, up, up into Warrior One. So just a reminder to ensure that your front knee is not ahead of your ankle. You've got that. Your knee might be a little bit farther back, but not farther forward. Again, your thumbs press your buttocks down. Actually, this time, keep your hands on your hips and draw your elbows together. So you're giving that broadening across your chest. And then lift your arms up to the sky. Now in doing so, detail, take your belly button a little bit more towards your spine. So you're keeping that neutralness. Arms are long and open them into a V. See if you can close your eyes. There's always a little bit of a balance. And the awareness of your vision and how it holds that balance. So with your eyes closed, allows a little bit more focus of all of your muscles, everything drawn into center, and even all four sides of your feet rooted down. As you draw your next breath in, straighten your front leg, and we're going to fly down into pyramid. Arms long, fingers, so hinge forward your fingers so if you can reach far, far forward. Eventually your hands onto your firm blocks. So the alignment as we did before, take this time your right thumb and place it into your right hip flexor. Drawing that back, your hips square, and then place your hands back onto the firm blocks, both hands on the firm blocks, and your head to hang down. Virabhadrasana 1, giving that lovely lengthening. And enjoy. So you can be onto the firm blocks. And you can have the firm blocks at whichever height. I like it on its highest level, just for soaking into this pose, but you always have the options of lowering them down. Now this isn't an achievement, it's how far you can lower down. It's more the focus is on lengthening the tightness of the back of our legs from all of our time sitting, as you know. You need to have that opening and lengthening. Allows it a little bit easier to go out and play, may it be cross-country, skiing, running, hiking, biking. The importance of keeping the strength of our muscles to be at complete ease and enjoy. Bend your front knee so that you can step your back foot forward. So your feet will be hip distance apart, side by side. And then as you're down, I want you to take your hands behind your back and interweave your fingers, again, the funny way, the way that you're not used to. And take your feet wider. So your feet are near the outer edges of the mat. Head to hang, almost dangle. And you can keep your thumbs onto your sacrum, or keeping of your fingers interwoven, perhaps your knuckles up towards the sky. A little bit more of the opening. So whichever way allows the opening in the back of your leg, but no strain on the front of your shoulders. So whichever one feels right for your body, just you on your mat, whatever feels right, do that and enjoy. If you've lifted your arms up, place your thumbs back down onto your sacrum. Again, keep your knees soft and bring yourselves into standing upright. Hands hang by your side. And walk your feet together. So the inner edges of your feet will be together. Everything is centered. Arms by your side. and close your eyes. Take yourselves back into Tadasana. Checking all four sides of your feet, sole of your foot down, your body long, and how does it feel? On your next in-breath, lift your arms right back up to the sky. And then I want you to swan dive down, flying all the way down. And take your feet back so that they're hip distance apart. Fly all the way down to the mat, all the way down so you can take yourselves back into child's pose. In child's pose at this time, explore taking your hands behind or towards your little toes. So your head will hang onto the firm block or forehead onto the mat. And take yourselves back into this passive child's pose, or a variation that gives you a little bit more of that opening. And your breath is full. And breath in. And breath out. Bring yourselves back to upright, up into table pose. And have your firm blocks in front of you on its highest level. I want you to take your left foot forward now into a lunge. So have your back toes untucked. And bring it so that your front shin is vertical, having your firm blocks. I want you to press dominantly onto your right big toe. And place your hands onto your front knee. Press them down and bring yourselves up. Bring your palms together into heart center. Close your eyes, bringing in balance. And place your hands now back down onto your firm blocks. And all I want you to do is straighten your front leg. So you can give a little bit more length. So you can slide your front heel farther forward, but at the same time taking the top of your thigh bone and tucking of it back. Head to hang. Allow a little bit more ease of the stretching of the back of your legs and that there's no weight onto the sole of your foot. It's free. Imagine there's a strap around the front of your hips, tugging of your hips back, with the crown of your head forward to allow the lengthening of the back of your leg. It's a lovely simple pose that finds those sticky spots. And then let's change sides. And so draw your foot back. So you're back into kneeling. And then we'll just change sides. So take your right knee forward. Take yourselves again into the lunge. Finding that position, verticalness. Place your hands onto your knee. And press your knee down to bring yourselves back up. And bring your palms together. So as you're directing your palms together, I don't want you to press them together, but the awareness is everything drawn into center, eyes closed. So if you can direct your tailbone down towards your mat, with the crown of your head up to the sky, having that lovely opening. Your hands glide down onto your firm blocks, and simplicity of going into reverse. Straightening of your right leg, drawing your toes towards your shins. It's the rebound. As the top of your right thigh bone is back, crown of your head is forward, but allow your head to be headed and just hang. Maybe give it a little bit of a shake. Get you to draw your front heel back so that you'll be back into healing. Kneeling. Healing, kneeling, whichever feels right. And place your hands onto your hips and hinge yourselves back to upright. Kneeling upright. Roll your shoulders a few times. Bring your palms together now and into heart center. So keep your palms pressed together. And keeping your palms together, lift them up to the sky. And the bending of your elbows so that your thumbs are to the back of your skull. Allow a little bit more lengthening of the pit of your arms and enjoying your breath in and your breath out. Even in doing so, taking your lower floating ribs back to ensure that they're not pressing forward. And then bring your arms right back up to vertical and lower your arms by your side. Just give a little shake, shake. Take yourselves back into kneeling. So place your hands this time on your firm blocks. With your hands on your firm blocks, extend your left foot back. We're going to stretch calves. We're doing lots of stretching today. So have the ball of your foot down, your hands. So you can have your hands a little farther forward, just to care for the wrists. And see how close your heel can be towards the mat. Okay, I'm going to do a little movement. You have to pay attention. Your right hand on the firm block, take it more to center, so it's more underneath your head. Then take your left heel and turn it to the side. So the inner edges of your foot is down, and lift your left arm up to the sky, taking yourselves into the side. Okay, so you're pressing your right hand down, your left arm is up. Beautiful. Into the lengthening, lengthening. Now, just a challenge. You can keep your left leg down or maybe lifting it up halfway. Now, here's a real balance challenge. Nice. We're going to go from here into Gomukhasana. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your left leg, bend your knee, and cross it behind your right knee. So your knees are crossed and your feet are apart. And take yourselves back. Okay. So it might be just fine, one shin in front of the other, go no further back, that's fine. See if you can get gravity to be directing your sitting bones back down towards your heels. Care for your knees. If your knees do not like this, then keep yourselves, I'm going to show you, keep yourselves in table pose and just sway your hips side to side. If it's okay having them crossed, then take yourselves down. Your head can rest onto the firm blocks. It's quite a deep hip opener. You can also take yourselves right back down onto the mat to go into thread the needle. I'm going to hold this for a little bit. So as I said, you could lie on your back to do thread the needle, or you can stay like this, or slowly taking your hips side to side, whatever feels right for the opening of your hips. We're going to unwind. So shift your weight forward. Uncross your legs. And give everything a little shake, shake. And we'll change sides. Hopefully we understand it this time. So this time, take your right leg back, plant the ball of your foot down, and stretch. Okay. So you can also stay onto your tippy toes. Just sort of find a position that gives that opening. So your hands press down and away. There's your stretching of your right calf. Still need your thigh bone to keep activated to hold your alignment. And then we're going to do our little balance. So place your hands onto a firm block or onto towards the mat, directly below your head, left hand. Then lift your right arm up to the sky, and as you're doing so, you'll be on the inner edges of your right foot. And lifting yourselves up into the side loop. So as you know, it's a little bit of a balance. So look somewhere that gives you a focal spot, and then you can stay like this, or you can lift your right leg up to horizontal. Again, finding a focal spot. Using your outer hips. And then I'm going to get you to cross your knee, your right knee behind your left. Variation, Gomukhasana. And again, you can sway your hips side to side, or you can lay onto your back for thread the needle, or you can stay into this variation. And your breath. It's quite tight. Taking yourselves from a complicated sequence. So just allow your exhales to be a sigh. Figured it out. We're here now. Enjoying the opening. Finding that sticky spot. And as you all know, anytime you take yourselves into a pose, you almost feel a little bit of tightening with discomfort. Bring yourselves out, shake your joints, and then travel back in. Opposed to holding discomfort and feeling of the tightening, want to be in a pose of the opening. And then bring yourselves up. And we're going to be taking ourselves into sitting upright. So if you're in thread the needle, then just bring yourselves forward so that you can take your legs forward. So you'll be sitting on the ground, your legs extended forward. And if you have a strap, grab onto your strap with your legs forward. And sitting in this pose to assist your hips moving forward. And saying that, take your hands behind your buttocks, drop them back so that your hips tilt forward. So taking all those muscles, this allows a little bit more ease of your proper structure of your hips without the collapsing of the back. So you can have one firm block over towards the left side of your mat, just in case. I want you to scoop your hands underneath the back of your left knee and pick it up. And then place the sole of your foot either into your inner calf or your up inner thigh. This firm block is there to give you that support. Okay? I'm just going to show it to you forward. So in this pose, if your knee doesn't reach down, put that firm block in there just to give a little bit of support. You got your strap. Take it over the ball of your foot. And bring yourselves back to sitting tall. You can see if you can tuck your shoulder blades a little together. So we're going to fold forward. So I want your chin to glide forward. But I want you to keep your gaze up. Don't look down. Perhaps your hands and your firm blocks walking a little farther forward. And then when you go no further, then just allow your head to drop down. So in a pose like this, it's called Janusharasana. It's not an achievement of getting your nose towards your knee. It's more of lengthening the back of your leg. See if you can flatten your extended leg. The lovely strap we hold for assistance. I don't want you to have your hands wrapped around, glinching on it. It's more holding. It allows your more alignment. And that tight spot. You might not go very far. It doesn't matter. As long as you're having the opening from the sole of your foot, wrapping around your heel, your Achilles tendon, up the center seam of your calf muscles, the center, the belly of your hamstrings, even allowing the opening through the back of your buttocks, even up towards your lower back. And enjoy. As you're ready, bring yourself back to sitting upright. And then with the assistance, take your hand onto your knee, draw it in, and extend it forward. Sometimes it's a little easier if you just put the strap, change the strapping so it's already in place, and take your firm block to your opposite side, unless you had to two. Scoop your knee up so your leg is completely passive as you lift up. And place it whichever height. It could be your calf, it could be your upper thigh. Firm block for support as needed. Actually, even taking the strap and giving a little bit of a tug to tuck it back so that your hip's neutral. And close your eyes. Folding forward as if your nose will go past your toes. Your body stays long. And eventually stopping. And so imagine that the back of your ribs are moving towards the front of your ribs, opposed to the front of your ribs towards the back, where you get that rounding of your back. It's more the elongation of your body to hold the alignment and releasing some of the tightness in the back of your hamstring. Sanskrit name is Janu Sharasana. As with all poses, opportunity, and with this pose, feeding in the release. Draw your body back and up. With the assistance of your hand, draw your knee into center and extend your leg forward. And just take the strap off to the side. So bend your knees and take them a little bit farther apart so that you can wrap your shins around your knees and take yourselves into a very passive pose, your head to hang. Sometimes it's nice even giving your head a little shake, releasing in that tightness. Taking your shin a little bit towards your chest for the opening. Bring yourselves back now to sitting tall. And I want you to open your legs into a V. So lower each of your legs down into a V. Now in doing so, have a firm block on the outer edges of both of your legs. And do a bit of a twist. So place your left hand onto your firm block. And I want you to look over towards the right. Sounds sort of funny, but with your left hand, slide it towards your heel. Keep your gaze towards the right. And then allow that little bit of an opening. So take your shoulder blades a little closer together, a little bit of a turning opening. And then slide your hand back, coming upright. And we'll change sides. So right hand onto the firm block, look over towards the left. So in doing so, having your ribs, the right side of your ribs, scoop under. And slide your firm block towards your foot as your gaze is off towards the left. Giving a little bit more of the opening. And then draw yourselves back up to center. And take your hands behind the back of your knees to lift them up and forward. So we're going to take ourselves into, we'll go into deer pose, and I'm going to give you guys the option if you want to go into deer pose or pigeon pose. So I think we did this on the last class, is the variation. So deer pose, as you all know, it's to have your right shin running parallel with the right front end of the mat and your back shin running along the side of the mat. So we're into this lovely zigzag, and have your firm blocks in front of you. So as you know, in deer pose, it's just the simplicity of folding forward. And you've got those firm blocks to place your forearms on. Just a reminder is you could be onto the firm blocks more over towards the right or towards the center. If you've chosen to go into pigeon pose, just a reminder, your front toes towards your knees, extending your leg back and rolling up into pigeon pose. Now this can be quite tight through the elbow. So if you're feeling any strain, you can take yourselves into deer pose. And I actually find deer pose more of an opening. It's more of a different variation of a full pigeon pose. And then just very gently, whichever one you did, allow yourself to hang down. So if you've gone into pigeon pose, having your hands in the firm blocks can be quite lovely. Or I find sometimes forehead, whichever one you're in, forehead resting onto your firm block. Only if you're in pigeon pose. If you're in deer pose, then have your forearms onto the top surface of the firm blocks. And breathe. A lovely release into deer pose. And then a pose like this can be quite deep. And often feeling a blending together of your outer hip, your back hip flexor. There's always a reminder of checking. Are your thigh muscles tight? Are your hands gripping? I always say it's like a warm blanket draped over your body, that all of your muscles are relaxed. You have the strength of your bones to hold this alignment into the zigzag or the pigeon, but the layers of the tightness of your bones to release. All lift up. Even in doing so, take your back foot and swing it forward. Both of your feet forward. Outer edge of your mat, and take yourselves into the windshield wiping. Side to side. Putting the juice back into the joints. And then we'll change sides. So everybody first going into the deer pose, the zigzag. And then the option of staying into deer pose or shifting yourselves forward and up into pigeon pose. You find the one that gives the most opening without feeding in strain. And sometimes, it's each different, sometimes going into pigeon pose feels great, but then your knee starts to remind you that it's a little bit too much compression. So go into this pose and enjoy it. And if your body starts talking to you, saying it's not as happy, to come out, make a variation, and then allow your body to melt back into the pose. And the ease and the softness. And all of the poses, it's lovely how many variations there are of every pose. Deer pose is a variation of pigeon pose. The pigeon pose you're in is a variation of the full pigeon pose. The Sanskrit name is Ekapada Raja Kapottanasana. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's the description of one foot forward, alignment, and opening. Ekapada Raja Kapottanasana. Took me a while to learn that one. Make sure your buttocks aren't tightened, your feet are free, and your body's at ease. So I'll draw up, drawing up from the mat. So you can swing both of your feet forward to the front of the mat. And a little bit of a windshield wiping. And then from there, I want you to lie down. So lying down onto the mat, I want you to have your firm block with you. We're not going to go into Shavasana for a little bit, but have the stuff nearby. So you want to have your blanket, have that nearby. Actually, have your firm blocks. We'll be using those for one of the pose sequences. And lie down onto your back. And down towards your back. Draw your knees in towards your chest. And then it's nice. Hands onto your knees. You can move your knees forward or back. Your toes can hang down or horizontal. Just putting that lovely movement. All of our time standing, it's the weight, kneeling, sitting, all the weight at the top of your thigh bones, the weight of your body down. And this way your legs are light and free. So I'm going to get you to take your strap, okay, and place it under the ball of your right foot. And then just lower your left foot down. Keep your left knee bent. Okay. Just the simplicity of the lifting. So really working on the straightening of the back of your lifted leg. Now it might not be completely straight, but we're working on the lengthening. In this pose, take your strap into your left hand so that your right hand can move your right thigh away. Allow your hips to neutral and encourage more lengthening and straightening of the back of your leg. Now in this pose, you can keep your hand onto your thigh, moving it away, or perhaps placing your hands independently, right hand onto your left hand. And enjoy. Your head is heavy. As you know, so many variations. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can move your foot a little farther forward, maybe lowering it all the way down. Just make sure you have that neutral settling at the back of your hips. No weight. There's a little bit more ease of opening of the muscles. And the settling and stillness sometimes isn't a challenge in itself. So those busy thoughts seem to appear into your mind. You're going to wash it away with your breath. So a full breath in. Allow your breath to swirl through your body and to sigh on your exhale. And just notice if one layer of those muscles softens a little. We'll do it again. Breath in. Imagine you can breathe through your entire body. And just sigh on your exhale. Now lift your left leg up so you can place the strap underneath the ball of your foot so we can change sides. So once it's underneath the foot, you take your right foot out and place your right foot down onto your mat. And then as we've done before, with your leg vertical, place the strap into your right hand so that your left hand can move your left thigh away. Keeping that space between your lower ribs. Encouraging more. I always say it's like yawning in the back of your knee. So allow a little bit more opening and lengthening of the back of your knee. Just with the assistance of your hands onto your thigh. Or if it's already there, if your leg is already in the verticalness, then taking the strap independently onto right and left hand. So again, figure out which gives you that opening in the sweet spot. Opportunity, and then the position of your right foot can stay bent, maybe a little farther forward. If you lower your leg all the way down, make sure that you're keeping the softness of the lumbar part of your spine, your lower back. Sometimes as the leg is extended forward, belly sort of pops up a little bit. So we're now more focusing on lengthening the back of your lifted leg. Whichever variation, enjoy. See if your eyes can stay still. And the tightness we hold between the eyebrows, smooth them out. Allow that releasing. Bend your knee now. Bend it so you can place your foot right down onto the mat and just take the straps, just place it off to the side. And actually take your knees in towards your chest and give yourselves a little bit of a rocking side to side. We're going to go into a supported bridge pose. So have your firm block with you, your knees bent and your heels near your sitting bones. So we're going to go into the bridge pose. I'm going to slow into it. So you're lying onto your back. Your forearms are down onto the mat. You got the little robot. Press your feet down so you can pick your hips up and then take the firm block and slide it underneath your sacrum. Okay. So not your lower back. You want to have it right underneath the sacrum, the back of your hips. And then bring your knees together and your feet apart. And your arms just rest by your side. Of course, there's that instant hollowing of the belly, giving a little bit more space. Slightly bring your shoulder blades together. In gravity and props, give yourselves the opening and opportunity. Opportunity and ease. Now we all have different variations of pigeon pose, bridge pose. I'm going to just stay with my knees together, my feet apart. But if you have a variation that you want to do, please do it. Just ensure that you're at ease, your body feels long, and having the support from your mat to your hips, and then the opening with ease. You're going to come out of bridge. And so if your legs are extended, walk them in. In bridge pose, take your feet back to hip distance apart. And then press your feet down to lift your hips up and take the firm block out and place it out to the side. Keep your feet on your mat, knees bent, but place your feet on the outer edges of your mat and your arms out to the side. And just give yourselves a little bit of the windshield wiping. So swing your knees towards the right, towards the left. Do it really slow, just like your breath. We're not going anywhere. Look at you to take your firm block over onto the left side of you. We're going to go into a body twist. So bend your knees so they're into a chair. So your shins will be horizontal, your thighs vertical, your arms out to the side. I want you to twist over towards the side, and that firm block is there to support your calves or If you need a little bit more support, you can have it underneath your feet or your thighs. There's lots of different variations. With the body twist, the importance of keeping your right shoulder down. Okay? Your arms can nicely flare open into a T, but allowing the turning of your torso, the whole outer surface of your shoulder blades onto your mat. The turning of your body, I want you to breathe through the tightness. Even in doing this twist, see if you can breathe into the side of your body, deep into your belly, into your back, filling of your body, the nourishment of your breath, and almost a sense of cleansing the release on your exhale. Keep your shoulders grounded. With your core, bring your knees back up to center. And we're just going to change sides. So take your knees this time over towards the right. Both of your shoulders down, whatever support need be. And enjoy a body twist over towards the right this time. And sometimes you'll notice one side is a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay. It's our body. Just make sure that you have the nourishment of your breath. Breathing into the tight spot. You just have to savor your breath. As you're ready, bring your knees back up into center. And go into happy baby. And so take your hands between your knees and then holding onto your outer calves, ankles, or feet. And then that lovely, just like happy little babies, rocking side to side. And come back to center. And we're going to get ourselves ready for Shavasana. So if you have any socks you want to put on, I don't have mine with me. And having your firm block, and place your firm block over the front of your body. Whatever you have to allow yourself to settle. And I don't know if you guys remember the other day in Shavasana, it can sometimes be nice having those firm blocks underneath your calves, or if you have a bolster or whatever your bolster is, place that underneath the back of your knees. Just find that position of ease. So the firm blocks, your legs can rest onto those, bolster underneath the back of your knees, and drape your blanket over you. For Shavasana, make sure you're warm. And the settling down. So as you lay down onto your mat, have a big breath in and doing a little body check. Wiggle your toes to make sure your toes are warm. Allowing the center of the back of your head onto your mat. Your arms slightly out to the side, but with your palms up. Complete breath in. And a sigh upon your exhale. So you settle into Shavasana. And so your skin is smooth. Your muscles rest onto the strength of your bones. And the tightness we keep with our thoughts is often through our face. So ensure that soft space between your teeth. Your tongue softly rests on the base of your mouth. Your cheekbones are strong and high, but your cheeks are soft. And to have the stillness of your eyes underneath your eyelids. Imagine you can close your inner eyelid to take that stillness. Your eyelashes straight down, and that tight spot through our eyebrows across our head. Allow it to smooth out. Stay as you are. You're going to need Shavasana for a little bit. So stay in stillness until you hear my voice. Shavasana. It's all yours. Your breath, your awareness. Allowing your mind to be soft, still, but always alert. Keeping your eyes still. Very gentle movements of your toes. Feeling the air traveling. Invite a few more breaths, a little deeper. Complete sigh upon your exhale. And as you're ready, roll over onto your right side. And as you lay onto your right side, draw your knees in towards your chest and have a few lovely breaths into the back of your body. And as you're ready, press your left hand down to bring yourselves into sitting upright. And sitting upright in a position of comfort. Breath in. And breath out. Softly bring your palms together and into heart center. And the gentle bowing of your head, bowing to the light within. And to remind, when you press fast forward, you miss the in-between space. And that you know you have a choice. You can slow down, observe the moment as the presence or self-inquiry, and discover what lies underneath. Be open to the inner magic that can come from bringing you outer life to the stillness. I I wish you namaste. You can place your hands down onto your thighs and softly open your eyes. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.